All right. Hey, everybody. Brian here from Gays with Kids. We're going to try one more time to talk to my new friend, Lauren, from the co-founder and CEO of Cofertility. She's one of GWK Academy's newest family building partner, and she and her team are reshaping egg freezing and egg donation, and I'm really excited for you guys to learn about this. So stick around, please, and I'm going to go ask her to join us now. How is that, Lauren? Is this working for you?
Much better. Oh my gosh.
All right. Sorry about that. All right. So once again, everybody, this is Meet Lauren, CEO and co-founder of Co-fertility, one of GWK Academy's newest family building partner, and we're so excited to have them on board because Lauren and her team are really reshaping egg donation and egg freezing. So, Lauren, great to see you. Thanks for thanks for your resiliency here.
Of course.
Sticking
It
with us.
happens.
So let's start again by talking about co-fertility and how you then came to be the co-founder
Yeah.
and CEO of an egg donor agency.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll start by just explaining a little bit about why co-fertility is different, and then I'm happy to give you that backstory. I think co-fertility is not your average egg donation agency. We're different in that we don't do cash compensation for egg donation. Instead, our donors actually keep half of the eggs retrieved for their own future use. And what this does is it actually opens up the pie of women that are interested in egg donation. We found through our research and through our conversation with tons of women that they actually find the cash compensation piece to be somewhat off-putting. And instead, by motivating them with something that that she wants, right, which is preserving her own fertility for her own future use, we're able to interest women that otherwise wouldn't really be that interested in egg donation. And so I'm excited to be part of this organization, honestly. I love what you're doing. And I think that our work with intended dads is something that has just been so exciting for me and my team. But I'll get back to your question, which was like, hey, how did you even come to be here? It is not your average story, I guess. I was saying before that before starting Co-fertility, I was at Uber for over 8 years. I helped launch Uber across the East Coast in the very early days. I joined when it was like fewer than 200 employees, just convincing people to download the app on their phone. And I had a feeling this company was going to be huge, and it turned out that I made the right bet. I actually ended up seeing an opportunity for Uber in the healthcare space, which was that millions of people miss a doctor's appointment every year because they don't have access to a reliable ride, and Uber had reliable rides in spades. So I started a business there called Uber Health. It's now a massive arm of Uber that's helped millions of patients get to the care that they need. But during that time, I actually had my own fertility journey that put me on the path I'm on now. I was diagnosed with an incredibly rare abdominal disease that, while benign, really had the power to impact my organs in a way that could be really, really detrimental. And so I knew that I'd have to have a number of surgeries to remove the disease. And I was told by my doctors that there was a good chance I may lose my ovaries in the process. And being a planner, I wasn't ready to start a family, but I wanted to know, like, what are my options? And they determined that my disease was so rare that they didn't want to freeze my eggs. They were a little bit worried that that might put me at risk. And so egg donation came up as an option. And so I started looking at the options out there and was very surprised and kind of off-put by what I saw. I felt it was really transactional, and that as someone who is Jewish and thought, if I want a Jewish donor, what would my options look like? I couldn't believe just like how hard that was to find, one, and two, how expensive that got, right? Because cash compensation gets higher the more specific you are with what you want. And it just felt really transactional to me. Long story short, my sister ended up freezing her eggs and donating them to me ahead of my surgeries. And I went through 3 surgeries, again, knowing I had her eggs on ice waiting for me, which was an amazing peace of mind. And then years later, I actually was able to they preserved my ovaries, and I was able to conceive my daughter without using my sister's eggs, but I never stopped thinking about egg donation. And so I had this beautiful baby in my arms, and I knew it was time to leave Uber. 8 years was long enough. And I decided that I needed to go build something in the reproductive health space. I got together with my two co-founders, one of whom, her name is Hallie Tecco. She is one of the top investors and operators in the reproductive health space in the country. She had been down a similar road where, saw that there was just a huge lack of innovation happening in this space, and there wasn't enough focus being put on how do we use tech and how do we use new ways of solving problems to address this, right? Like, how do we take something that really hadn't been touched and look at it in a new way? So we came together, we came up with this model, knowing that not only did intended parents who are looking for an egg donor deserve something better and deserve more diverse donors and deserve something that felt ethical and sort of in alignment with the way they wanted to grow their families, but also that women out there who want to go pursue their careers and their life ambitions really deserved a more accessible way to freeze their eggs too, right? And so we felt that we could really enter the space and solve both problems at the same time. And so we put together a pitch deck and we started talking to investors, and I'm honestly blown away by how the response was from some of Silicon Valley's like top investors. We raised several $1 million in an incredibly short period of time. And we have been off to the races since then. So we launched this past October, and it has been amazing to see both the reception of incredible women, right? Women who I'm like shocked and amazed by every single day when I see their applications come through. They blow us away from their interests, their careers, their ambitions, their just everything about them, because we really want to learn who they are as humans and not just like, here's my medical history and here's what I look like, right? There's so much more to someone than that. But also intended parents who are like, yes, like this is more in alignment with what I want, right? And so we facilitate amazing matches. We encourage match meetings between the two parties. We encourage disclosure between the parties. We feel that is something that is often in the best interest of the donor conceived person, and we've done a lot of research around that. And we educate our donors on that, and it really holds true for them. So I know I've said a lot, but I think it's all part of the why we're here.
So your passion comes through, and I want to get to that in a sec. Back to that in a second. But in the meantime, so just highlight points. So your intended dads are not paying an egg donor; they're paying Co-fertility for the services that you guys provide, which is to get. Do you want to talk about the?
Yeah, absolutely. So similar to working with any sort of fresh egg donation agency, you pay Co-fertility a coordination fee. You also pay for like expenses associated with donation, right? So things like IVF complication insurance or the legal fees associated. You also pay for the actual egg retrieval itself and her medication. And then the biggest difference is that instead of paying cash compensation, which traditionally is anywhere from $10,000 to, I don't know, $25,000 on average, but we've seen $50,000, $75,000 more. It's crazy. With us, you pay to keep the donor's half of the eggs stored for 10 years with a one-time storage fee of $2,750. So a fraction of what you would pay otherwise. Some intended parents choose, depending on their goals, to do 2 cycles with the same donor in an effort to yield more eggs and embryos, and that's an option that you have. And even that often comes in as less expensive than what you would pay to do 1 cycle with a fresh donor elsewhere.
Wow. And so do you know in advance, like are all your donors willing to do a second cycle, or in advance you ask who is?
So most of them are, but once you make a match, you are assigned a member advocate from our team who will talk to you about your preferences, your goals, and what you're like hoping to achieve. And then they have a similar conversation with the donor to make sure again that there's alignment there for a mutual match on that part.
Wow. Very, very cool. So, so less expensive, and these are women that you're going to absolutely want to consider for your egg donor, because these are the women you want to go for. They're in their 20s and they've got careers that they're pursuing, or they're in academia, or they know they're not ready to become moms themselves. So get back to your passion. I love I love talking to you and your team. Everyone I've talked to in the last several months has been just passionate. And I get that you guys are passionate about what you do, but I'm wondering what makes you so, like, you're passionate about helping intended dads, gay men. Like,
Yeah.
where did that all come from? How does that start? How does that all come together?
Yeah. I mean, I think it comes from this like deeply rooted thing in all of us that just believes everybody who wants to be a parent deserves to be a parent. It's just that simple, right? And so, like, I have goosebumps thinking about it because I know that it's like deeply, deeply rooted in each person on our team. And that's how we go about every day. Whether they are a single parent or coupled, right? Doesn't matter to us. You deserve to be a parent. And we'll work with you to help make that happen. Just, that's it, full stop.
That's awesome. So those interested in learning more about Cofertility can do a couple of things. They can go check you out at cofertility.com. Of course, you can also find out a lot more about them through GWK Academy. They're in our surrogacy and IVF course, all about egg donors. Lauren is in that, very featured very strongly in there. And you can also get, I think GWK Academy enrollees are entitled to. But more than that, I can promise you that her team is going to really treat you very, very well. Laura, we're excited to have you guys here. I'm excited to see where you're going to grow, and I can imagine. I only begin to imagine that in another couple of years, I won't even be able to get a time to talk with you on Instagram Live. So
we'll see. I'll always make time for you. I promise.
So sweet. So, anything you want to say before I let you get off to the next work assignments?
I think if anyone is like even remotely interested in what we're about and what we're doing, we'd love to meet with intended dads. And on our website there, I mean, whether, you know, you come through Gays with Kids or through our website, just let us know you're part of Gays with Kids. We are more than happy to set up a one-on-one call with you. Those are like my favorite meetings of the day when one gets a sign that I happen to be free for. It's truly like the best. So we'd love to talk through the specifics of your case. Tell us what you're looking for in a donor. We'll pull options for you. Yeah, we'll do it together.
Awesome. And I want to point out, I want to make sure too that we're making sure that couples who are interested in carrying multiples or ultimately having at least two journeys, understand that you're still cost saving for them, because that's come up. So people know, like, that's awesome. Well, Lauren, thank you so much. We love having you guys as our family building partner. I'm looking forward in the future to meeting some of the dads that or I should say some of the intended dads that are pregnant who've used you guys to learn more about their experiences working with Cofertility as well. So
let's make that happen for sure.
Okay, it's great to see you.
Talk
Thank you
soon.
so much. All right,
bye,
everyone. Bye.